It was jazz.
Oh, yeah.
Was it?
A couple of fusion notes in there.
Pan Egyptian. And welcome to the Super Fun Awesome Happy Time Pedal Show. I'm Gabor.
Hey, welcome. I'm Alex, and today we've got some Mozztronics pedals.
We've got, well, today's really about the CS-1 CabSim, but we've got the TD1 tube driver to sort of help out a little bit.
Because they're a good combination.
Yes, yes. Well, the TD1 is great. If you make sure to watch the TD1 video here.
Sure.
I worked out how to do that stuff.
I just
Basically, the CS-1 CabSim is a frequency compensated cab simulator, but it has a gain stage in it as well, which emulates power amp breakup.
And that's why it kind of works well with a tube preamp type pedal. It's sort of part of the picture.
Well, I think the idea with that is, or one of the ideas behind it is that you're on stage, instead of miking things up and stuff, you have your pedal board, you run that last. It has an input, an output, and a loop output. Now, the output is the frequency compensated thing that goes through that. The loop output is just a true bypass straight out thing. So you can use that. The loop out can go into your amp.
Yep.
So you have on stage, you have an amp sound, and then this goes to front of house as a cab emulation instead of miking things up.
Well,
to embiggen the sound through the PA.
That's very true.
Yes.
Much bigger.
Much embiggened.
Well, you can do what we're doing today and just recording with direct out sound. So
yes.
We've got the loop out as well, so you can hear what it sounds like, our guitars sound like. Bypassed without all the circuitry involved.
Yes.
So, should we hear that first?
Let us.
Let's do
so, no, we're not going to a Serotonin Autism Mini 20 because there's no amp involved.
Both.
We're going into this.
We're just DI straight in, no EQ, no compression. There's a little bit of slap back we can turn off, which is just on the UAD Apollo. And yeah.
Coolio.
Do you want to play?
Sure. Okay, so this is now tube driver turned off, CabSim. Okay, we should say also there's a mode switch. There's a low gain and a high gain switch, which is the mode switch. Gain, tone, and volume. And it sounds actually. So that's no reverb now or delay, turn it off.
Okay, before we go, that's with the processing. So this is another channel which is direct.
So it adds a bit more maybe body to it.
Presence.
Okay, let's have a look. Do you want to check? Should we check the gain?
Sure.
Gain and tone and stuff.
So, with the mode switch down, it's kind of more high gain setting.
So it gives you that kind of, I think the idea behind it, again, that's what it says in the manual, is it gives you that kind of sag from the tubes, power amp tubes being pushed hard. So if you ever used an amp, like for example, like like old Marshalls or even now the Marshall Origin amp, to get drive out of it, you've got to crank the power amp stage. And you get, that's sort of where that tone comes from, is that it's those hard-working power amp valves.
Yeah.
And it gives you that kind of sag, and it gives you that kind of, it has a certain thing to it, and it does it actually quite well, I think.
Which is cool, but it's kind of only half an amp sound.
Yeah, because it's just a power amp, so you need the preamp. a bit loud.
The tube drive has a lot of volume.
Yeah. And I mean, the tube drive also goes into almost fuzzy territory there when you crank the gain up a little bit.
Yeah.
And depending on the contour switch as well. But like I said, watch the video that's earlier on. I don't think I can link to the same video twice there, but it's earlier on.
Hey, just out of curiosity, let's hear that. I'll swap it out. So we're just getting the pedal with the cabs and then just the pedal by itself.
Okay, yes. Big difference.
Yeah.
I mean, you get that fuzzy mess when you go straight, which, I mean, at times is quite... Oh, and I was on the rhythm set. It's a bit brighter now because I was on the rhythm circuit before for whatever reason.
Cool.
I mean, the thing is with frequency compensated speaker emulations, it's never like a perfect amp emulation, but I think quite often, especially in live environments or in recording environments where you then also have extra EQ on top of it because you go into into Logic or Pro Tools or whatever, and live you go into a console, and I think a lot of times live you also, I mean, you have the sound of the amp on stage if you use the thing with the loop switch.
Sure.
With the, so you have an amp on stage. It makes it adds extra frequencies and it makes the sound bigger.
This also could be a cool way to do like wet dry thing.
For example, yeah.
Just thought of that.
Ah, see, good thinking. See, I've used it a couple of times at home for recording, because I actually lately really like going direct in recording, like putting a pedal straight in.
Sure.
To get that 9-inch nail sound.
Yeah.
But the way I have it set up at home now, I can actually split, so I can record 2 amps at the same time, a direct signal and that.
Yep.
And then a blend of that is actually really quite nice because it gives you a whole bunch of different things you can mix together that gives you one big sound.
Nice.
So let's hear you with this.
I want to go with a bit of gain.
I think it sounds pretty cool.
It's getting massive.
It's a big sound, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess with the tone, if you make it a bit brighter, it almost sounds. I think it says in the manual even it goes more towards what like a 1x12 speaker cab would sound as it roll the tone back. It gives it a bigger, more bass. Sounds more like a 4x12. I think it's a really cool tool for recording and for live use, just to get different sounds out of it. Because I mean, to me, the interesting part, for me, what makes things interesting is when they sound. You have a variety of sounds, variety of tones, a big palette that you can play with. So I think it's pretty cool.
Nice. Thanks again for checking out the CabSim from Mozztronics.
Big thank you, Andrew at Mozztronics. Check out Mozztronics. There'll be links below. Check out all the other videos we've done. I think there's a whole playlist I've made now on our channel. with all Mozztronics stuff. I think it's really, really good quality stuff. There's also, by the way, it takes 12 volt DC.
Yes.
So he does use some higher voltage in some of these things because this is 16 volt AC.
So it has a tube in it?
It has a tube in it, and he actually drives it quite hard. So, yeah, good stuff. Made in Australia. Support Australian stuff as well. Available at Pony Music and Peerless Music here in Australia too. So check out. Say hi to Damien at Pony Music, and say hi to Peg and Steve at Peerless Music if you go there. Yeah, check out Mozztronics.
There's a Linktree link below which has all our socials on it, and you can see what's going on. Also, our podcast, which is on.
Well, we will most likely be talking about this.
Say so. Cool.
The hard truth.
Hard truth.
Truth, yes.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See ya. Bye.
Thanks for checking out. See ya.